Hello, this is a reading for Capricorn. Just a little update. Impromptu zodiac readings. If you want to see the stream, we do live readings, or kind of more a thing. Feel free to come to Twitch, check out the Tarot Lady in a Church channel, and a whole bunch of other readers too. Lots of great tarot readers on Twitch. Page of Emotions seems to be a card, huh? So we've done 2 other readings for Virgo and Taurus already. And I think both readings include the Page of Emotions, which is the Page of Cups. And we get this warming up to energy. I'm really drawing a blank, like having a sense of clarity, that I don't need to have all these details. So in Taurus, it's all in the details. And it's really interesting the way that reading unfolded, because it was like a meticulous stubbornness. And then there ended up only being one detail. 6 of Voices, all these little details. But I have this sense of clarity about things. Like, it's like those are just details. Flick that. Those are just details. Capricorn, I have a bit of a warning for you that, well, somebody is feeling kind of, or at least there's an energy that is quite betrayed by your clarity. It's just basically this ability to kind of operate outside of the realm of details, that you're not being controlled by details. You're actually warming up to the idea that, you don't have to. It looks like there's a sense of like somebody or a situation is, there's a reaction, a very strong reaction to a decision that you've made to disregard the details. I'm just seeing in the chat there, an astrologer, Saturn rules Capricorn, and it just switched houses from Capricorn to Pisces. Ooh. That's a sudden change. Maybe this is it, that an old strategy that you used to, that you've gotten kind of warming up to this, trying something new, it seems. You're trying something new, which is to just kind of stand firm, okay? A lot like Taurus. I don't care. It doesn't matter. What are you going to do about it? Yet so confused. What did I say? And I think it's genuine. I'm laughing because it's kind of like, looking from the outside, it looks a little bit like somebody's, taken a pretty, what do you say, harsh stance. But it's like a warming up to the idea that you don't have to be controlled by all these little details. You don't have to chase after all these explanations. You don't have to explain yourself. This is what it is. And there's a strong reaction to that. And I'm seeing just a general confusion, like, what did I say? What did I do? What do you mean? Capricorn. Maybe this astrology prediction that just came in the chat is got something to do with it. Things aren't what they used to be. This may have worked before, not so much, this new idea of not really letting the details control your decision. This is something, this standing firm though, may have served you well in one point and maybe accelerated things, or, but I see you kind of like, it's like, what are all these strange feelings I'm having about the way someone reacts to what I do? it's almost like that's new. You're perceiving things. Maybe you just weren't perceiving it before. It could be that there were strong reactions to your approach before, and you're now just starting to perceive those reactions in an emotional kind of way, like feeling it. Wait, what? This is supposed to make clarity. This is supposed to make finality. This is supposed to be clear-cut, simple. Yet it's not working. Or maybe there's new, kind of resistance or reaction. There's a reaction. There's a strong, you'll have to resonate with something that's a very strong reaction to something that you've stood firm on. Total betrayal. And communicated as well. It's not quiet, it's loud. There's no missing it. So it's not like a sensing the feelings of it as in you're sensing that there's a strong betrayal. It's that hearing the strong betrayal and being confused by what you're feeling about that. It could be that before you didn't have that sense, that this led to some form of clarity for you. So I don't think it's like a psychic thing. I feel like this is a little bit more like an experienced thing. And I'm just going to point out, Capricorn, that you chose to lean hard into your own experience. And maybe those choices you've been making to lean hard into your own experience initially led to clarity because you hadn't quite broken the surface yet. But yet maybe now you've finally cracked through. It could be that you just had the illusion that standing firm despite the details, or in spite of the details, or to control the details, or to subdue the details. That's just standing firm. You may have just hit up against a wall that made you believe that was the edge of what could be happening. This seemed like a viable strategy. Yet here you are. Softening in your old age, huh? Somebody getting soft. What do you think is going to happen when you chip away at something? You're going to reveal the center. Truth is, this is somebody who's been there. It's somebody who has entangled themselves in your environment, in your life. So this would be, I don't think they're doing anything different. Honestly, I'm not sure. Maybe they are. Maybe they're being louder than ever. But it just seems like this is somebody who has chosen to stick with you, to work with you. And now I'm seeing this situation where something that was maybe a bit more clear-cut and firm has become a bit more, this strategy it's not got the same sting as it used to. It doesn't have the same efficiency as it used to. Maybe with a particular person, but honestly, I feel like it's more what happens to you afterwards. The sense of clarity is kind of waning. That it was only temporary strategy. And it was only a matter of time before you broke the surface. Ace of Voices. And somebody has decided to see this through. Somebody has decided to stick with you. They knew this was coming. Ooh, Capricorn. You've got a good friend here. They know why you've been firm. They know why you've been looking, or at least they know there's this realization. They understand the appeal of things being simple and easy. And they also know that when you press too hard on simplicity and ease, it's eventually going to break the surface. I wonder if this is even, it seems like an air sign to me. Well, the Ten of Voices, like voices, of course, but it seems like an air sign in the sense of they would sense this in a more kind of logical way. It's only a matter of time. You can't keep hammering away at a brick without chipping some of it away. And eventually you keep hammering at a brick and the whole thing's going to crumble. And what's going to be underneath is going to be the very thing, the very thing that you've maybe been trying to avoid. Not knowing what to do. You might be somebody who decides very quickly, swiftly, easily, in the moment, firm, and standing firm is part of it. It's just make a decision, stand firm. Great strategy. No one can ever get to me. No one can touch me. Meanwhile, the more you execute that strategy, the more you're chipping away at your ability to sustain it. The Hermit. Well, so Virgo energy is kind of what inspired us to start these readings today. The moon's in Virgo right now. When you see this, it might not be anymore, but the Emperor. So Virgo and Aries readings might have something for you as well. It's interesting, this concept that the only thing you can control is yourself. Where did we ever get that from? Nobody ever said that. What we said was, the only one who can find out is you. Whether you like it or not, attempts that you make to control your own experience in terms of emotions, to make sure that you're expressing that there is this wall, that's just chipping away at the wall. It's almost like spending the strength of that wall to hold itself up. And we didn't say that you were in control of yourself. We said that you're the only one who has the sovereignty to learn about yourself. You're the only one who can choose to look into yourself. Who can choose. Nobody said that you had to be aware of it while you were doing it. Sometimes we do things because we think it's a good idea. And then we find out that we've actually been doing the opposite of that thing. And one thing's for sure is that there's no denying that as you spent the energy, it's like spending more energy holding up a wall than the wall could withstand. you'll come out of it not being able to deny that you're the one who chose it. But it doesn't mean you have to be aware that you're making the choice. So I didn't know, I didn't mean it, that's not what my intentions were. Intentions matter, but, they don't always change the past. You can have an intention for something, or you can remember an intention in the past, but that doesn't come with a guarantee. Intentions don't come with guarantees. Because there's always things we don't know we're doing. When you get too strong of a reaction from your environment, I wonder if there is this tendency to just put up a wall and stand firm. And I see that somebody who reacts to you, generally in a way that encourages you to put this wall up, they've been here all along. They're here. And they know how this is about to play out. And maybe it's not that they're hoping that plays out that way. It's just more somebody who is going to be around you, is somebody who's going to be invested in your story and in witnessing your life. If they already have this knowledge about, building walls, they're going to know about you as well, that like the comforting part of it or something like that is that they're going to know as well what's about to happen or what you're going through now. They're going to have some sense of understanding about it. We can be very understanding because, somebody who can see this before it leads to the inevitable outcome is somebody who's been there. It's the person who's most likely to have at least some kind of cognitive empathy. Like, I know what that's like. An air sign, maybe a Gemini. Geminis are masters at cognitive empathy. Temperance. This came up in the stream last night. It comes up from time to time, like someone will say, oh, their karma, they'll get their karma's coming. And this is a great depiction of what I would consider to be more what karma is that you can't escape a situation like this without gaining an awareness that you're the one who did it. That you're the one who had the misconception about the strength and power of this strategy. And that's the karma. It's not that you're going to get punished by some unfortunate circumstances. It's that you basically become someone who once thought. And if anybody who's watching this is a reader themselves or has some kind of a psychic practice that you do, or even if you just been through something and you come to realize your role in it, in a way that's karmic, in a way that leaves you with the rest of your life to live as someone who once had a misconception. And even if you, I don't know, you could say I used to think that when you get those song lyrics and you get the lyrics wrong and you used to think the lyrics were one thing, but they're actually another thing. And anytime somebody mentions that song, it's almost like, it seems like a prerogative to announce, I used to think the lyrics were that, but they're not that, they're this, just so you know, so you don't have to learn the hard way like I did. It's like that. That's kind of a little bit more like the way karma, I would see it playing out in a temperance kind of way, like the way you live your life in its aware and unaware forms become the way that you live your life. As you gain awareness, there's a drive almost in a lot of people to communicate that awareness, to share your knowledge. My stomach is just going bananas today. Lots of grumbles. Don't feel bad. Just loud. And so it gets kind of hard. It gets kind of difficult to see somebody going through the same thing you went through, if you can realize that without saying something. Here's what I got. Here's somebody who could see before you could that you were about to go through something. And I'm seeing the Ace of Voices, that they knew. And I'm seeing you kind of left to your own devices to figure it out. So that's something. You may have heard about what pains somebody, or you may have heard about, somebody's strong reaction, and your strategy of just standing firm, not getting too much into the details, just doesn't have the zing it used to. But I'm not hearing much. I'm seeing you going through it, and I'm seeing them just kind of knowing that you were going to be going through that. There we go. Capricorn, a bit of a call out, I guess, but not so much. Just more of a, hey, you might want to know this. You might want to know this. Just give you a heads up. Don't be deceived by someone's silence in the face of your realization. If someone has stuck with you and continued to, and I'm not going to say trigger you, because it doesn't feel like that. It just feels like whenever somebody makes too much noise about something, you just shut down, put a wall up, and say the details can't be important. I'm standing firm in my choice. That's it. I don't want to hear any more flack. What are you going to do about it? And that kind of toughness, kind of, when you're tough, your hammer hits are kind of harder. So you're building strength just enough to tear down the wall itself. And somebody knew this, probably because they've been through it. And don't be fooled by their silence. If you're having a realization, if you're starting to realize that you've kind of, as much as you try to be more firm, or as much as you try to address the too much noise from someone in your immediate environment with firmness, it's not doing the thing it used to. It's not preventing you from getting affected. It's not preventing you from being confused. Don't let their silence fool you. They actually do know. And you might be tempted to kind of try to fake it. Try to fake this firmness, the illusion of the firmness. Because now you've really gotten yourself into it, something like that. Don't be fooled by their silence. They know. Somebody who's stuck with you through thick and thin, kind of. It's almost like the more you fool yourself that nobody knows, the more people stay quiet. Because this really is something that only you can sort through. It's a little bit like Do you know that you're visible? And I don't think it's a matter of being polite. I don't think people are being polite. It's just the more you try to hold it up, the more people realize it's not something they can address. And so you might notice people kind of backing away in your attempts to hold up some firmness, kind of not really responding, not really having anything to say about that, not confirming it for you, not telling you that they believe you, that you are being firm. Sometimes that's the best people can do in a situation where it's something that you have to look inside yourself to figure or adjust or adapt to. You have to adapt to this new reality that it doesn't have to be that you did anything wrong. It's just this old strategy isn't working like it used to. And it was never meant to. And anybody who's been able to be around for long enough to witness you going through that, it's not so much that everybody can see you, it's that there are people who have been through this before. It's not uncommon. You're not like doing something erroneous or wrong. It's that those who have been through it will be able to know it before you do, will be able to see it before you, will be able to realize that eventually you're going to get to this place. And those are the exact people who will know to step away when it's like people who know not to enable you. And they'll just have an instinct to not entertain these self-deceptions. There's something about appreciating those types of people, or at least recognizing that not everybody who doesn't have an answer for you, or who doesn't confirm the strategy that you've chosen, is somebody who is ignoring you. Sometimes the best anybody can do is just remember what it was like. Wow, Capricorn, I'm sorry. There's probably other readings that have more positive messages. This is a positive message, though. It's a little bit more of a wake up, Capricorn. I think you'll appreciate this. Straight to the point, direct. Let's go. Who you fooling? Thanks so much for watching this reading, and come visit us on Twitch if you'd like. Same name, Tarot Lady in a Church. Bye now.